Welcome to the 5-Minute PM, where we break down everything project management into 5-minute segments. Today we discuss hybrid project management. It's becoming more common as project managers face increasingly complex projects. But what does hybrid really mean? In this video we'll explore how hybrid project management lets you pull the best techniques from both Agile and Waterfall methodologies to create a customized approach. The key is that the project itself should dictate which tools and techniques you use, not the other way around. Let's dive in. What is hybrid project management? Hybrid project management is exactly what it sounds like, a blend of methodologies. Instead of rigidly following one approach like Agile or Waterfall, you can cherry-pick the most effective elements from each to suit your project's unique needs. For example, you might use Waterfall's structured phased planning for long-term tasks like creating a product roadmap, but adopt Agile sprints and iterations to handle more dynamic aspects like software development or marketing efforts. According to PMI's Pulse of the Profession report, hybrid approaches are on the rise, with 54% of organizations reporting they use some form of hybrid methodology. Why? Because modern projects are often too complex to fit neatly into one box. Hybrid approaches offer flexibility without losing the structure that some projects still need. Why let the project dictate the approach? One of the biggest mistakes project managers make is forcing a project into a methodology that doesn't fit. Every project is unique, and that means you need to tailor your management approach accordingly. Some projects need the predictability of Waterfall while others require the adaptability of Agile, or sometimes a combination of both. Project requirement stability. Let's start with the project requirements. If your project has stable, well-defined requirements that aren't likely to change, like in construction or infrastructure projects, Waterfall planning makes sense. You'll want to plan out every phase, create a detailed timeline, and ensure all dependencies are accounted for before moving forward. But if you're working on a project with shifting or evolving requirements, such as software development or product launches, you'll want to incorporate Agile elements, like iterative sprints or regular feedback loops. These Agile techniques will give your team the flexibility to adapt to change as it happens, instead of scrambling to replan halfway through the project. The level of stakeholder involvement also plays a big role in deciding which methodology to use. Some projects require frequent stakeholder feedback. Think tech startups or product development, where the final deliverable might not be clear up front. In these cases, Agile's focus on continuous stakeholder engagement is perfect. However, some stakeholders prefer fewer touchpoints and more structured updates. In highly regulated industries like healthcare or finance, where there are strict guidelines and compliance requirements, Waterfall's documentation and phased approvals might be a better fit. Hybrid management allows you to engage stakeholders at the level they're comfortable with, blending Agile's feedback loops with Waterfall's structured updates. Time-sensitive or resource-heavy projects. Next, consider time-sensitive projects. Sometimes you have a fixed deadline or a budget that leaves little room for error. Hybrid project management allows you to create a Waterfall roadmap for critical milestones while using Agile techniques to focus on delivering small, iterative value along the way. For example, if you're rolling out a new app with a fixed launch date but need flexibility to adjust to market feedback, you can use Waterfall to lock down the non-negotiable elements like security features or regulatory compliance, and Agile to fine-tune user interface improvements in the final stages. Now that we've discussed why the project should dictate the approach, let's get into some practical tips for implementing a hybrid model successfully. Choose the right phases for each methodology. One of the biggest advantages of hybrid project management is that it lets you apply different methodologies to different phases of the project. Start by breaking down your project into distinct phases: planning, design, execution, testing, and delivery. For example, use Waterfall during the planning phase, where it's crucial to lock down the overall project scope, timeline, and resources. Then switch to Agile techniques for execution and testing, especially if those phases are more dynamic and subject to change. This gives you the best of both worlds: solid upfront planning and flexibility during development. Be flexible with documentation. Waterfall projects are typically heavy on documentation, while Agile projects prioritize speed and adaptability over formal paperwork. In a hybrid environment, it's important to strike the right balance. According to McKinsey & Company, hybrid approaches benefit from maintaining key documents like project roadmaps, risk logs, and stakeholder reports while cutting down on unnecessary bureaucracy. In other words, document only what's critical to the project's success and avoid bogging down your team with excessive paperwork that could slow progress. Tailor communication for your team and stakeholders. One of the challenges of hybrid project management is that different methodologies require different communication styles. Waterfall tends to rely on formal, milestone-based updates, while Agile thrives on daily stand-ups and continuous feedback. For a hybrid project, tailor your communication based on your stakeholders' preferences. Use formal reports and milestone reviews when dealing with external stakeholders or upper management. For your project team, incorporate Agile's more casual, frequent check-ins to maintain momentum and adaptability. Don't forget risk management. Finally, hybrid projects often come with increased complexity, and that means you need to pay extra attention to risk management. Both Agile and Waterfall have their own approaches to risk. Agile manages risk by embracing change, while Waterfall seeks to eliminate it through rigorous upfront planning. In a hybrid model, you can use Waterfall's risk identification and mitigation strategies at the beginning of the project, and then monitor and adapt to risks using Agile's iterative feedback loops during development. According to the PMI's Risk Management Professional Guide, hybrid approaches reduce risks by 27% compared to using Waterfall or Agile alone. When not to use hybrid. While hybrid project management is powerful, it's not for every project. Avoid hybrid approaches when you have very clear and stable requirements that don't change, or when your project is too small to warrant the complexity of combining multiple methodologies. For example, small teams or short-term projects with fixed deliverables will often perform better with a single, focused methodology like Waterfall or Agile. Adding layers of hybrid management can create unnecessary complexity in these cases. Hybrid project management offers flexibility and structure by blending the best of both Agile and Waterfall methodologies. But remember, the project should dictate which techniques you pull from each. Whether you're managing a complex, dynamic project or a long-term initiative with set requirements, hybrid project management can help you navigate both. Focus on using the right tools for each phase of your project and maintain flexibility in your approach to see the best results. Thank you for listening to the 5-Minute PM. Remember to get more project management tips and tricks. Please like and share this video and subscribe to this channel.